Hello and welcome back to Bugtopia and Songs of Six. I am the Fiend, and today we're going to be doing some more expansion. We have a lot more people, or bugs, to grow. We're not going to import, although I have a lot of aspiring immigrants. I'm just going to keep growing our native population until all our immigrants die off, and everyone is a native populace. They're all born here and they will die on the world map for our glory, the bug glory. And to continue our glory, I'm going to probably take Burnick, Nova, and a few other freeland towns so that I have some extra space for bugs to live, because we need a lot of space. But that is also going to require a lot more admin. So as well, we're going to put in a few more admin buildings, probably 3 or 4. I need at least 1,000 admin points, and right now we have 357. So that is going to take me quite a bit of time with these 3 buildings here. 1, 2, and 3. We have 357, so something about 3 times larger than this is what we're going to need for an admin building. So I'm going to get to it, and I'll see you guys in a moment. Hello and welcome back. Welcome back. Oh man, god dang it. Always got these outbreaks going on. Welcome back though. I know you saw the battles. We took a couple territories. I will go over those quickly. We got the Bug Dunes, we've got Centipede Hill, and we've got Bloatfly. I ran out of names for bug related towns, so I started naming them after bugs. I went up here to try to capture here, and I ran out of money. So I've been struggling with money in this run a lot. And it's mostly to do with the fact that when you get a town, it costs a lot for things like sewers, which I purchased a lot of. And they're 39,000. They increase the health for the overall settlement, but they're extremely expensive. So I've been focusing on the closer to home settlements. A lot of them are at level 3, so we're growing population wise a lot faster than I have in other settlements in other runs. And a few of them have pastures for Balti crawlers here. So the idea is that they're sending meat. Some of them are sending more than others, like this guy's sending 200, this one's sending 100. I think he's sending fish. So I'm trying to get them all to send different goods in order to keep my people fed. We've got a decent amount of fish coming in, and we've got these new Balti crawler breeders here. We have 3 of them. We got the boost. Wow, look at all those outbreaks. We got the boost for nope, not that. Right here. So now we have 100 Balti crawler breeders. We got an experience boost. So the next one is at 600 employees. That is a lot of people. And that would be a lot of pastures I don't think I can make. I've also got 3 new bathhouses. I've got one here, and they're all kind of snake shaped. Everything this episode is a little snake or worm shaped, actually. Sorry, worm shaped. These bathhouses are fit for 50. This one over here is fit for 50 as well. So it's got 5 big tubs, and then the smaller one by the training ground, it has 2 tubs. It's fit for 20 people. Oh, we need coal. Well, that'll be something I'll work on next episode. I forgot that the bathhouses need coal. So I'll probably either... Yep, actually, there's a space right for it right here. So we're going to get a coal mine going, as the Garthimis love to mine. And they have no problem doing so. We've got these 3 worm-shaped admin buildings. I just copy and pasted this one. I didn't really want to go into detail of building new ones, so we just built them like this. I'll say that for the sake of this run, the Garthimi are pretty organized when it comes to admin because they're so used to capturing people and killing them. We've got our beautiful little chamber here. I really like the way this chamber area came out. Speaking of which, that's a dirt road in front of his house. It's not supposed to be like that. Give him some dire road. We have this new bathroom. I put it over here. Funky little Y shape building, and then we have what I like to call the bug housing. This is where it's going to get really dense. We're going to start to dense up this area, so it's going to be like 4 or 10 of these all throughout this road. Basically just bug housing, and we'll have like a distribution center in between here and here, and then we'll have like a temple, some access to other things. Well, actually we don't need a temple, we have the temple right there, but we'll have access to shrines and other little things that will really help them out in this region. And I built a few more houses over here. I had said I was going to do some stuff over here, but as I'm working on getting over there, I will decide later on that. I also have way more Garthimis being produced than I feel is necessary, so I've turned the total population to limit them to 1.3k. That way, I can get my population up to where I want it. They're all natives. For the most part, everyone's a native. I haven't gotten any immigrants, and there's 403 who would come in here if they wanted to. If I wanted them, I should say. And the idea is that I want this meat to kind of get stored up a little bit so we get some food days. The hardest challenge, I think, will be actually turning the meat into rations. But although I think the Garthimi aren't too bad at farming herbs. They're subpar at it, but they're worse than everyone else. So we may have to find some way to get that going. I have contemplated slavery a lot in this run, as it is extremely challenging to do anything as Garthimi, but I am sticking to my guns. I'm probably just going to make the herb farms along here, and I've got a little bit of herbs here. They harvest them from here, which gives us 1 for 1. I don't know what really determines their skill, like if they can't harvest in general or what. I think that they can still harvest. I think that the potential for the output is lower, but they still will obviously harvest like 200. If you put in a plot of 200, you should get back that many. So that's my idea. I'll put those in next, and I'll have to start making rations out of meat because, good lord, the meat will expire, you see, 83.3% per year. So, alright, basically 100% a year, but we've got it stored so it won't spoil that fast, I should say. So there's a definite need to get this meat stored, our situation stored away, and then probably get rations situated, like I was mentioning, because that way we'll have all the days of food met. We need to have at least 32 days, but we also need to make sure that our population has access to 4 food rations. We're at 50% right now. So if I go to look at the Argonash on the world map here, they'll not be close to 80. They need to be at 80% food rations in 32 days, and everything else in the city is done. We've got the temple up there, we've got the dread, we've got the population, we've got the Schmalorism at 99%. What does Schmalor give me again? Schmalor? Offensive skill. Oh, that makes sense. And we get submission. So honestly, it's the hardest choices it's the hardest decision I've ever had to do with the Neverrun. I'm gonna stick to my guns. Despite our submission level, we're not going to get any slaves. And if I do change my mind, it would only be for the sake of selling them, because we need money, and money is really hard to come by. Our neighbors stopped selling us or buying things for a larger sum. I don't know why. I think that they just have higher trade tariffs now. If I look at Elias's goods, he's usually buying things for 5. Currently, he's stuck at 3. He was buying them for a much higher price. I think maybe he's in a slump. Maybe he's in a recession. Who knows? But we got to get that figured out. We also have our world army, who is consuming quite a bit of supplies. Not too much, but they do take a fair amount of supplies. They're taking clothes, so 63 clothes per year, 197 drinks per year, and 394 rations per year. Not too bad, considering that they would probably be consuming just as much on the world, on this map here, but they still are consuming those things, and that's why we're running low on drinks, and that's where all my money gets drained away to. We're not selling enough stone, and we're not selling enough wood in order to keep up with that, so I started to sell, where is it? Furniture next to the carpentry workshop. And then I also started to sell, we have our livestock, and then leather. Leather is something that I accumulate for no reason. I'm wondering if the not Amevians. I know Amevians will give you leather, but I think Garthimi may shed leather or something along that line, because they just constantly are producing it, and Baltic crawlers do not create leather, and I am not hunting for leather. So somewhere along the lines, something is giving me leather, and it is piling up, so I have them selling it here. He currently has nothing to sell, but he sold 800, and it was at 200 when I started, or 300, and it filled all the way up. So whatever's giving me leather, I have no clue. That's just my assumption. Maybe these Garthimis are just dropping leather in their houses or something. What is that flapping around in there? They're weird little dudes, man. But I love them. I gotta love them. They're my people. And pretty soon, these will be done, and I won't be using my hatcheries for a while. Or I may slow down the hatchery process. I may close 2 and then just have 100 coming at a time. Who knows? I just personally don't want to keep jumping my population up too high if I can't keep up with the food. And we've got over 300 more or 200 more people in the city, living, working. We've got training going on. We've got 2 regiments trained up, and speaking of which, we're going to train this group up to 100, so that all our groups are at 100. This guy is working his way to 50% melee training, so that way he can be sent to the real world and get into some action. But it's looking dire. We're in dire straits, and I feel like that's true to most episode 6s for my series so far. I get kind of like trapped in this position, and then I'll come back in a day or two, and like you see, I have 28 range and all this weird stuff. It'll all be gone. And tomorrow I've got Saturday, so expect a longer episode, or a much more prominent episode, as I'll have a lot more time to spend upgrading the city and getting where I need to. But for this episode, I am happy with what we're gotten. We've basically expanded enough to the point where I feel comfortable in leaving it, so that we can actually focus on another new goal after that, and that's just going to be getting our meat, getting that meat. We need to get the meat situation figured out, as well as the rations. So that will be the next episode, figuring out our food production as well as sales, how to pop that money up there. I need $1 million fast, and I need to get that very, very quickly, because our neighbor up north is not happy. He is constantly at odds with us, and if he decides at any moment to just come down here, start attacking us, it will be bad news. I will likely beat his army up if he gets into my region, but the same goes if I go into his region. He has a stronger chance of beating me. So there's a reason I want $1 million, so I feel safe enough that this guy will never be able to touch me, and neither will Elias. Although Elias would be the last person on Earth to ever think about attacking me. Or actually, who is the king? I've never... Robert Warian II. What a man. What a dude. I also just wanted to check one other thing. Oh, I can't anyways. I was going to check. I have to make a video on specifically whether there is a different sex for different... Yes, there is sex in this game. No, I'm just kidding. But like, is there different sexes for each race, or if all the races have a specifically one race, like one sex per race? So like the Garthimes, they may just be all the same. There's no female. I think that the blue ones may be females, because I do see that there's a good number of blue ones. And someone was talking in the Discord whether or not the Talapis were all females. And I was questioning that. I am not sure. I'm not sure if the races... I know humans obviously have females. I'm not sure if Dundarians do. I'm pretty sure I've seen Kryptonian females. So, yeah, that's going to be something I figure out in the future. And I'm going to put out maybe a few episodes or videos on the specifics to the races, what they like. I'll kind of go over this little like Garthimi love death thing, and I'll kind of talk to Jake. I want to ask Jake specifically in his words what these races encompass, so that I can tell you guys exactly how they work and what they're all about, especially the lore aspect, because that's something I'm interested in knowing, is the lore. And there is some really dark lore to Talapis, which I won't go into. They do some nasty stuff to people, so there's some that I will try to avoid the best I can. But the others, for the most part, have some really cool lore, and I'd like to go into that. Try to get Jake's input. Maybe see if he'll come on a video one of these days and explain it for himself. I think that would be really awesome to see if he would come on and actually explain his thought process behind each race, where he got the ideas for him. And I know he has an interview from the past. He may have explained that in them, but he could have changed his thoughts. I did find out one other thing, though, that Amebians, I believe, were a modded race. So they were added through a mod, and Jake loved them so much, he put them right in the game. So if you are a great modder and you find yourself putting some cool mods into the game, be sure to shoot them over to Jake, or comment somewhere on the channel, and I will try them out, because I'm always interested in new mods. But been rambling on for a little while. I thank you all for watching. You guys are awesome. Every single time I read a comment on this channel, it just makes me smile. So I appreciate the love and support you guys show. I hope to continue doing whatever it is I'm doing, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye. Say goodbye to Exante. What a name, Exante. Conte. Goodbye, Exante.